Moms and dads, listen. You're not the problem, but you are part of the solution. And this podcast is here to help you reach with your troubled child. Known as the Teen Whisperer, Jason Clopton counsels young adults and has a proven track record of reaching kids when parents can't. Listen and take notes. This show will help you figure out what's bugging your baby and build a bridge to a better relationship with your kids.
You are listening to the Teen Whisperer, Jason Clopton, and I'm Jason Clopton. And as y'all can see, we got this new bomb platform coming to y'all live and direct, and I think this is so dope. So new look, new things, new topics, stuff we got to discuss, stuff we got to get through, and we're going to jump right in. Don't forget, y'all, it is National Mental Health Awareness Month. We just had National Teen Mental Health Awareness Day, and I am so excited that we are raising our level of awareness around mental health. Shout out to all the parents, teachers, community members, organizations, everyone out there that is doing something around mental health this month to raise our level of awareness around such a critical topic, right? I mean, especially nowadays, y'all, with so much going on. I'm just so excited that we are starting to change the narrative, right? We are starting to remove the stigma that surrounds mental health. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's a part of our well-being. Mental health is wealth. Y'all hear Charlamagne the God say it all the time. For all of y'all that listen to Breakfast Club and everything out there. Now, just again, super excited. Shaletta makes me laugh. Our platform is changing. We're growing, and we are doing some great big things. But today we have a super dope topic, and it might ruffle a few of y'all feathers. But you know what? That's okay with me. That's why we're here, right? A lot of people say that change doesn't happen when you're comfortable. Growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It's when those uncomfortable situations occur and you start to see yourself and notice yourself growing. So let's get a little uncomfortable today, okay? Because teens, I'm coming to talk to the parents. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't want any of y'all parents out there to take this the wrong way, because I'm not coming at you. Y'all know my phrase. Y'all ain't the problem. So let's really dig in today. Now, the topic today I want to talk about, and it came to me through an interesting way, an interaction with an individual I had, but is about adjusting our parenting styles in today's society, right? How do we adjust, right? And what does that look like in today's world? Now, some of y'all are not willing to adjust. Some of y'all parents out there are saying, you know what? I parent the way I parent, and that's how I'm going to parent. That's how I was parented. And that's just what it is. This is my child going to have to deal with that. And then some of you guys are making a lot of changes, changing every single day. It's hard for your child to even keep up with it. You know, change this day, change that day. I'm this type of parent this day, that type of parent the next. And then there's this, consistency, right? Where it's kind of this blend of both, how I was parented, but also being willing to change with the times. So, what category do you fall in, right? I know me, I tend to fall into all three of them sometimes, where I'm trying to change it up every day. And some days I got a good blend where I understand how I was parented, what I liked, what I didn't like, and try to make adjustments based on that. And then some days I'm like, you know what, that's it. What I say, go. I'm gonna parent you how I was parented, and that's what my mama told me, right? So just really understanding where we are as a parent right now, especially in today's world, right? And what we know is mental health has a lot to do with how we parent, right? It's important when you think about overall mental health, especially for our children and our youth out there. How we parent plays a huge role in that. It makes you think about it. Makes you think about when you're thinking about mental health, right? You think about, well, how am I parenting? How am I contributing to the well-being of my child? Or how was my experience with parenting, right? How was that contributing to my mental health and well-being overall, right? And we start to see these signs show up, things, feelings, all this stuff surface, things that we never, especially when we start to explore this stuff, things that we never knew was there. So, one thing that I noticed that was hard, let's talk about change. What we all know, and we can all vouch for probably right now, especially during today's time, is change is difficult. It's hard. We know that, right, y'all? Change is super hard, especially with the abrupt and swift change that we all had to kind of go through with this pandemic, right? Education changed, work changed, the way we interact with each other has changed and continuously is changing, right? Wearing masks, 6 feet apart, social distancing, connecting and communicating via internet and Zooms and uh, phones and all types of other devices, right? The only way we can maintain connection, waving to a loved one through a window, because that's the only way you could see them, right? Really, really just this quick and swift change. And it's hard and it's difficult. And sometimes we're not willing to change, right? We've seen a lot of people who were unwilling to make certain changes, who did not want to, uh, adjust in that place. But, right, our children went through a lot of swift and abrupt changes as well. And as things changed for us, it changed for them even faster. And what I want to know is, in terms of parenting style, right? And I want to hear all you guys. Don't forget to email me, teenwhispererjc@gmail.com. Log on to Shaletta Makes Me Laugh. Put some comments there. Go on to the Facebook, the Teen Whisperer, Jason Clopton. I want you guys to chime in on this, right? What does it take to encourage that type of change, right? Does it take something so severe and so impactful, such as a pandemic, to get us to adjust and make the necessary adjustments? Are we very reactive when it comes to change in our parenting style? Is it that we are not open to how times have changed, such as possibly seeking some coaching, some training, some support in other areas to help us kind of manage that change? What are you noticing out there, right? Especially in your own household. Like, how does it impact your family when it comes to change and overall parenting style, right? Especially in today's society. Here's a couple of things I want to talk about, right? You know, with this pandemic and children, getting outside and parents having to adjust. I know parents that are like, nope, my child can't see their friends. It's not going to happen. They're remaining socially distant. They can talk to them through the phone. They better text message every now and again, right? But then in that same parenting parent style, right? Within those same principles and values that parent embodies, one of the things that this parent told me is, nope, my child can't be on the internet that much. My child has a limit with phone time. My child can't really be on social media that much, or is not at the right age for that. And how did the child receive that message? Right? Like, the only way I can communicate is like this, but then I have all these limitations and restrictions on communication. Times changed abruptly, right? Are you willing to make the adjustments, right? To meet in the middle with your child on certain things? And what does that look like in your household? I want to know what you guys are doing. How are you guys adjusting to teens wanting to speak up a lot more, right? One of the things that I do is the teens talk tour, uplifting the voices of teens and what's important to them, right? Because they're so used to hearing people come inside their schools and in their buildings and pulling them to the side. Hey, shawty, let me holler at you. Let me tell you what's up, right? And talking at them and giving them great information. Oh man, older generation, don't y'all believe for 1 second that we should stop producing and giving and sharing knowledge and experiences with our youth from what I'm saying. No. I'm talking about how they're receiving it, right? Is there this mutual exchange, right? Is it something that a child feels where not only are they embracing the fact that they get a chance to listen to you, someone who's had a lot of experiences, someone who's been through a lot, that might have a lot of knowledge to share, but also that it's being embraced, that they're heard, that what's important to them matters. And what I want to say and speak about with that particular thing is our children are speaking up more than they ever have. And sometimes that ruffles some feathers when it comes to parenting style, right? One thing I can remember being told is stay in a child's place. Do y'all remember that? Can somebody out there relate to stay in a child's place? And what does that mean nowadays, especially knowing that our children have information at their fingertips? So, what does that mean in your household? Stay in a child's place. How are your children receiving that message, especially in today's world, as compared to when you were growing up and in your childhood and how your parents meant stay in a child's place? What did it mean then, and what do you think it means now to our children, to our youth? Ask them, check with your children. What I noticed, right, about me when I heard that, it meant don't offer up any information unless you're asked for it, right? Don't speak unless spoken to, especially when it's adults talking. This is a grown folk conversation, right? Why are you even in it? You shouldn't be talking when grown folks is talking, right? Make sure that you are respectful, and acknowledging elders when you're entering spaces, right? You got to be respect. It's disrespectful, right, if you don't say hi to everybody, especially your elders, and that's like something that all children are supposed to do, right? So it's these things, right? These little ways in which I interpreted that message then that I noticed that's a little bit different now because I don't necessarily deliver that message in the same way to my children as a parent. I don't say necessarily stay in a child's place, but right, I do check them, right, and say, hey, there are adults talking right now. You should say, excuse me first before you offer up information or interrupt, or so that, I kind of got this pre-warning of what is she about to say? What topic are we talking about? Or what is she going to offer up? What's going on here? But it goes back to, those parenting styles, right? The way we were parented. What did we adopt from what our parents did with us? How is it working for you nowadays with today's child? Will it work? Especially knowing that, again, we want to be the bearers, right, of that information for our children. We want to be the ones who kind of, alter their perception of what's being said, the messages being given, right? We want to just be in so much control. But our children are finding their voices. They're speaking up. Y'all, in my last tour, I had a child no more than 15, 16 years old. And what they said was so complex and different and unusual. It kind of made me step back, like, wow, they're thinking about it that in depth, right? They're going that deep. A child raised a concern. They said, I feel like Black folks have been, going through a lot of different experiences for a long period of time, and there was, and we haven't had any laws or bills or anything passed or anything to support that. And I said, wow, they're looking that deep into it. And they had some healthy discussion around that. And what it made me think of is, watching the news, politics, all that stuff was like adult stuff, right? And how did my parents treat politics in our household, and how am I treating them? Nowadays, it's in my household heavily, and sometimes I feel unprepared, right? So that makes me have to adjust the way I parent, because now I notice that I'm having conversations with my daughter about the justice system, and we always have to have different types of discussions about how you interact and how you're supposed to present yourself in society. But I noticed that this is a part of my parenting now. But we didn't really talk about politics. My parents didn't really talk about politics with me like that. We weren't talking about bills being passed, and we weren't talking about a lot of these, social justice issues that are really impactful, not just on us as adults, but on our babies. So I noticed that I had to make some adjustments. I had to learn how to have some of these conversations because they were coming to me. My children were coming to me with it. They were having experiences. They were hearing these things in their, circles, in their peer groups, and they were having conversations about it. So when they brought it to me, I couldn't hit her with the stay in a child's place. That's grown up stuff, right? I had to figure out how to have that conversation, and it was difficult. But I want to know, what are you guys doing in those difficult situations to make that adjustment? That's one of the reasons why I do the work that I do, y'all. It's because that level of awareness is so necessary nowadays in order to support our children, in order to support ourselves, right? In order for us to get the training, the coaching, the help, the support that we need, we have to sometimes dig that deep and say, how am I changing? Am I willing to change? What does change look like in terms of my parenting style so that I can be the best parent for my child, so that I too can understand the impacts of the way I was parented, and even digging deeper the way my parents were parented, right? What things do I notice trickle down, right? And when you think about it, I want you to think about it like baggage, because it's important, because with our children, that's a relationship. And we all know, right? We all know in relationships, we come into it with our own kind of stuff, our own baggage. What things are in your bag that maybe don't need to be there on this parenting journey that you're going on, right? What things need to come out of that bag because they're not going to benefit you on this journey? And what things do you need to put in that bag, right? What things can you pack that bag with that you can actually use on this journey as a parent, right? Is it flexibility that you need to add into that bag and take away stubbornness, right? Is it mental health awareness that you need to add to that bag because you had some traumas that are still undealt with as a parent, right? And now you can add in coping skills, right? Things that help you manage your emotions in a better way, in a healthier way. What's in your bag that's stopping you from adjusting? Do you need to adjust? What does your child need, right? What do you need from your child? And how are you communicating that? Are your emotions involved? And are those emotions all from your child, right? Let's really dig deep, parents. Because as things change, and we know, again, change is hard. It's difficult. We're not always willing to do it. But as they continue to change around you, the world is changing around us. Are we willing to adjust and change the way we parent? Especially knowing that it's a big, big, big factor in our children's mental health and well-being. Parents, remember, you know how I do it. You know the phrase. You know. Parents, you are not the problem, but you are a part of the solution. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Teen Whisperer podcast with Jason Clopton, known to his clients as JC the Counselor. Check back every Tuesday for new episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts. Find out more and connect with Jason at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.